Right. So understand it says, and unto Adam he knew his wife again. So understand this marriage or this consummation begins in between these months. This is where you get the three trimesters of childbirth, the 10 months, right? Understand there's a separation between the lunar and solar of about 10 days. So 90 days plus 1, 90 days plus 1, 90 days plus 1 brings you to the new year, anew. So this is why we talk about the anew, the new people, a new year, anush, right? Understand Seth and his son anew, and when men began to call upon the name of the Lord. So understand the Caribbean and calling upon the name of the Lord in the Virgin Islands, right? So we understand that here in the West Capricorn, you can go right 6 or 9. If you go 6, it brings you into the first fruits. Right? Understand if you go 9, it brings you into Virgo. So understand the Virgin Islands and the Caribbean, the calling out. Right? So understand men began to curse the new year, anew, born again, right? A new renewal, right? Pure, become pure. This is why white and the whiteness and the color white, purity. Right, they say don't wear white after Labor Day, right, and all these different things. Understand what takes place, right, from the conception here, right, then from the first day of the year, what they call Rosh Hashanah. Understand Enosh, right, and the birth. Understand why you give a tenth to atone, right. So you look at a lot of the sacrificing of the son and making an atonement for sin, the firstborn. Right? Understand this foundation of the earth. Understand creation, foundation. Anything that you deal with is built upon this foundation. So all designs, all architecture, all algorithms, graphics, photons, capturing of light, whether it be positive or negative, is built upon this foundation. So it says, and he called, and it says, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. So when men began to call upon the name of Yahweh. So understand the Caribbean, right? So it says here, Enosh Hakul Ikro Bashim. So to call, Quran, to call out, right? So we understand to call out the Quran and Enosh, right? Brought to you. Loose, same as it says the son of Seth. Enos, and to Seth, to him also was born a son, and they called his name Enos. Then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. And Seth lived 505 years and begot Enos the year. And Seth lived and he begot Enos 807 years and begot sons and daughters. Enos lived 90 years and begot Canaan. So understand how time and light years, and understand it wasn't, when we talk about pre-diluvian, this is pre-time, this is pre-sun, the chronicling of time, prehistory. So we're talking about, what I was explaining about the Virgo and how coming around to the new year comes around at a time of Virgo. That's why the Virgin Islands in the Caribbean and the western border of Africa is the gate, right? As we see here, Leo, Cancer, right? Protectors, she that takes care. So that's why you see the Sphinx, right, and the lion, right, protector, right, coming in, why they call us aboriginals, the crossover genes. This is why Hebrews are called Hebrews. Understand? They crossed over, right? So, Day of Atonement, understand Yom is day. When you understand the day gone, understand the Yom. The Kappa herb, right? Understand the lights and the Kappa curve. But here, Feast of Trumpets, the New Year's, understand the Virgin, Virgo, and the calling, to call, Quran. So you understand the Quran, the Caribbean, right? The Quran, it says identical with the idea of accosting a person to call out properly, addressed by name, but used in a wide variety of applications that are bidden, called forth, self upon. So understand the and the sound that levitated, and God calling the day, right, light, and the night. He called out. He gave the sound, right, to publish, to pronounce, to read, to distinguish, to invite, to mention, to separate, divide. All of that was done through sound, the calling out, right? So this is why the Quran and the scriptures of old used to be sung or called out. This is why the gospel, right, was proclaimed, read. Alright, so you understand Qur'an, cry out, utter aloud. The virgins, understand the daughters of Zion and the Virgin Islands and the Caribbean and the connection. Understand this is West Africa, and over here is the Mesopotamia, and to this region here is the Gemini, the binding of the two. So understand Hemera, hemisphere. Alright, so this is why Gemini, demonized, right? The hemisphere, right? Capricorn, right? The goat and the sheep, understand? Go here or here. Alright, so that's call out, to be called, proclaimed, to read out loud, to be summoned, be named, shine. So this is, so God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning one day. So understand the separation of day and night, the duat, the twining. Since we're talking about the twilight, understand there's a twining here and a twining there. So we're talking about the twining here, right? Capricorn, Sagittarius, right? Gemini, and Cancer. So understand the twining of the two, right? So this is where twilight, when the sun sets, the sun rises between these regions. This is what they call twilight. This is why Islam wears the bow tie. As you see here, leaving the 120 degrees of night on this side and on this side with the twilight, right? The sun will be ruling. So with the twilight, when the sun is here, right, there's twilight, and this is left in darkness. This was seen as the 144,000, right, the 2/3. To understand the rotation of the 2/3 and how it rotates, right? So talk about twilight, twining, right? So when the sun be here, right, when it would rise here, it would seem like as if it had set here, right? So darkness would be here. There'll be a twilight there between these three. Here, darkness, twilight, and the sun would be ruling 180 degrees here, right? See that? So this was what the 144,000 was in the Bible. The 144,000 is the 72 that's left from the 2/3. When you do it in whole of 180 degrees, that's 72 becomes 144. So understand how the seas, the time, the precession, the time coming here once the sun sets here in Scorpio, in this region from Libra to Scorpio, and comes into the seas of Aquarius, right? It leaves the twilight of Capricorn and Sagittarius, right? And full daylight here with twilight between here, leaving complete darkness here between these four here, 144,000, like 3, 3, 3, 3. And then this is the 12 tribes, and this is why the sun was looked at as the priesthood. Didn't have an inheritance because they had to be in the midst center. So understand 3, 3, 3, 3, 12, 144,000. That's left from when the sun sets and is rising, right? The twilights. So understand the twilights and the sunset and the sun rising, and how God called the light day and the darkness he called night, and the evening and there was morning one day, and God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning a second day. So when men had to explain creation, they had to use the signs of heaven to teach the creation. As I am doing here, I can teach you everything that exists from this here, from this foundation. This is the foundation of what we call the existence of the Duat, Torah, good and evil, right? So understand. Peace. This is a quick lesson, quick teaching, quick showing, but understand the quick summary. Understand that Adam, when he knew his wife, that takes place in the winter solstice. That is the signification of creation, the marriage, right? This is why all dressed in white, the marriage ceremonies, right? And the proceeding of the bride down the aisle. This is the sun's procession, right? Originally, which also became the sun. So this is how they demonize different principles to teach, to keep certain things hidden, to teach anti-creation. So they had to demonize the feminine principle and over-sexualize and homosexualize the dominant gene holders who naturally have this within them to rise up from the fall. But if they keep you falling, keep you in your state of falling, you never rise up again. So this teachings was to teach us from when we fall to rise. Right, so understand how this is used in hospitals, healing, making whole, right? So they just want to keep you on the 6, keep you 2/3, keep you 3/5 of a person, not a whole person. They don't want you to rise up. You understand? So this is truly the whole explanation of truth within, the scriptures is trying to give you the information to rise, to resurrect, to redeem yourself. Also forgiveness, right? Understand you fall, but you need forgiveness, you need atonement, right? So this is how these things are taught here. This is just a brief explanation. I'll do more later.